This is Talk Local to Me from the Central Virginia Business Coalition. Streaming live each week on Media Squatch Plus and available on demand in the app or wherever you get your podcasts. Local stories, local business, local impact.
Hey everyone, welcome to Talk Local to Me. I'm Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels of Lynchburg, America's Choice in Home Care.
And we are so excited you're joining us today. We have a great, I say we have a great episode. We haven't had it yet, but I know it's going to be a great episode because we've got some really
got some great guests.
Great guests coming in today. And I'm excited to talk to both of them. It also kind of leads into an event we're going to be having soon.
Right.
So it's kind of a really good segue into, the home show and why people should come out to that on April the 11th. And, you're going to learn some stuff today that hopefully if you're looking for, builders or contractors or service providers or realtors or mortgage lenders.
Roofs, basements, solar.
Whatever.
Yards, new house.
Yards, plants.
All the things.
You can come out to the Central Virginia Home and Garden Show.
Yeah.
And that's going to be happening April the 11th. And we are going to be at EC Glass High School. We are currently accepting vendors for that, and we are hoping to pack the gym full of opportunities for people in our area to come out and learn about how they can renovate, whether it's they're looking to build, they're looking to renovate their home, they're just looking for something to be fixed or odd jobs or things like that. They can come and learn more. We haven't had a home show. We had one, we had one last year, but prior to that, it's been about 5 years. And I know people go to the one in like Roanoke and Salem, and we wanted to put something on here in our area. So more of our local businesses in the Lynchburg, Amherst County, Campbell, could really put themselves out there. So put that on your calendar. We actually just started. We've got billboards up. We've got magazine ads going out. I've got some commercials getting ready to run for it on WSET. We're going to have our Living in the Heart of Virginia segment happening in a couple of weeks. So lots of ways to find out more information. But you can also go to our website, cvabc.org, or you can contact me, Heather at cvabc.org, if you would like a link to sign up to be a vendor for that. It is free admission. So if you're out there, you don't think, I'm going to have to pay to come to this show. Nope, it's free. We want you to come out and visit our vendors. We also are going to have some food trucks there. We know we've got the Maine Lobster food truck coming in. El Cabritos will be there. We also will have First Choice Shredding will be there too. If you have like documents you need shredded, it's right there around tax time.
Right.
Like just finishing up. So if you want to come and like just purge all of your stuff and you're tired of dealing with it, I'm making like a box of stuff from the office that we need to get rid of. So you can bring that and shred. There's going to be no charge for that either. So free shredding.
Free everything.
It's free everything.
Yep.
Absolutely. We're going to have some raffles and giveaways. And so, yeah, mark it on your calendar. Also want to just mention, we have 2 other events coming up for, whether you're a business owner or whether you're just someone in the area that wants to come and get more information. We have our Lead On Summit, which is our business summit that's happening March 26th. That is a full day event. We've got some amazing speakers that are going to be talking to you. Really, this is more, I'd say, business oriented. They're going to be talking to you more about like, how are you growing your business? What are you doing? Work-life balance. We've got the train coming through. The train's excited about it. But it's a full day. We're at the Craddock and Terry Hotel, and you get, I think it's tickets right now are $80, and you get a full day of speakers. It includes your breakfast, it includes your lunch. So make sure you get your tickets. We are over halfway sold out. So we normally do sell this event out. And so I suspect in the next week or two, we will be full. Also, our Empower Women's Conference is happening April the 30th. And that takes place at Legacy Auditorium. Again, this is a full day. Now, this one, I encourage women to come out to, whether you're in business, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're an entrepreneur. We have an amazing lineup of speakers for this event. We usually pack the room at 200 women. We have giveaways and charcuterie, and includes your breakfast and your lunch. We have nautical bowls that comes out, and Chick-fil-A, and it's the 8th year I think of this conference. It is my favorite event that we host all year long. We are over halfway sold out for that as well. And that's definitely going to, so we always sell out with a waiting list to that event. So if you are waiting to get your tickets, don't
wait. You'll miss out.
Because you will miss out. And we're going to actually start, we have a Facebook page for Empower where we're going to start putting out all of our speakers on there, and those will start going out this week. I'm getting ready to post our keynote speakers today, and then we keep doing the lineup. So 3 really great events coming up in the next 2 months. So make sure that you're coming to all or one, or make sure you're on there.
Yep. Sounds great events.
Yeah, really.
Yep.
So we're going to switch right over to speaking to our first guest. We have Charity Johnson with us with Craftsman Custom Builders. And everyone, I'm just going to preface this by saying, if I sound funny, I do have a little bit of cold. So bear
funnier
with
than
me.
Usual?
Shut up.
I mean, just asking.
Yes. I have a little bit of a cold, so it may sound a little weird. I can't hear on my left ear. So if somebody's talking to me and y'all just hear me go, huh? No, I'm just kidding. That's what it is. But anyway, Charity, welcome so much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Craftsman Custom Home Builders and kind of what makes your company different here in the Lynchburg area.
Sure. So we do residential new construction. Some positive things that benefit customers a lot is we do locked in house prices up front. So a lot of contractors, they'll do cost plus contracts. Sometimes, and they'll give allowances where you have to go everywhere and pick everything out. We're able to provide a showroom located here on Timberlake Road in Lynchburg, where customers can come in and pick out everything up front for their homes, and everything's already priced in.
Okay. That's awesome. So when somebody walks into your showroom, kind of what can they expect to see in there?
Sure. So they get to pick out all their interior and exterior finishes. I mean, the whole complete 9 yards for the house.
Okay. And I think that would be really important for some people that want to, like, if they're kind of building from the ground up, to be able to put their mark on it, like right from the beginning.
It is, yeah, because they get to visually see what they're picking out, and they don't have to worry about getting hidden surprises at the end or going over their budget. So that's really good. People really enjoy that, and they actually just get to enjoy the process of the house being built after that, because we do everything up front.
Okay.
And what area do you build in, like Lynchburg, and how far around?
Yeah, so we usually build within a 45 mile radius of our Lynchburg office. So we do all of the surrounding area.
So does that make it a lot easier with it being kind of a limited area, like just around Lynchburg, those 40 miles? Does it make it a little easier?
Yeah, because we built numerous houses at one time. With the system that we have, we're able to build multiple houses without a waiting list.
That's nice.
So yeah, it helps people out a lot, and we have construction managers that oversee the projects and stuff.
So, and you talked a minute ago about all the cost up front. So they kind of lock the house of the price when they start the process, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I have plans of our own that they can pick out. We can customize to everyone's needs. We can also build plans if they find something online or bring me a plan. We also do site work, so I do that at cost. Some contractors mark it up. We don't. So we do that at cost, and then, of course, whatever house plan they choose, I go ahead and price it out with any changes or whatever they want and show them showroom. We have a lot of things that are already price standard in the homes, nice quality things. But if they do want to upgrade something, we are able to do that as well and price everything up front for them.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So you mentioned site work. I know that you guys also handle the permits and the plans and the construction. So how does that make it easier for the buyer to
especially
not have
if they haven't built a home before?
Yeah,
I've never built a home.
Yeah, because it's a lot of people out there, that haven't built or don't know what to do. So it makes it a lot easier. I'll handle all your well and septic permits, building permits. We do all that at cost. I handle everything, do all the running and stuff for the customer, so they don't have to handle that stuff.
Taking that customer service to the next level.
See,
yes.
that would cause me a headache, a lot of worry to think about having to deal with all of that. So it definitely would be good to work with a builder that you can just be
It is, because it's a lot involved.
Right. So
Yeah.
I've rehabbed a house before. My first house that I bought, we bought for on the cheap. It had a bunch of code violations and things, and we fixed it all up. It was impossible to get the building permit and things like that. Just trying to figure out where to go for the first time and everything else. And it took us 2 years. So
oh gosh,
we probably could have built a house quicker than we rehabbed that house. But
and that's the thing. A lot of people now are saying that pretty much we can build a house for the same price and just as fast as people get modulars and double wides and stuff. So that's really good.
Yeah. So if somebody comes to you, do they need to already have land, or do you help with that process? Like what?
So every now and then we'll build a spec home, which actually includes land and a home. But the majority of time, customers have to have their own land, and then we build whatever they want on their property.
So how does that process work if they have their own land? Like, do they just come in and start like picking things out, or?
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same process. So they can call in or walk in, schedule an appointment. I can go over the plans with them, see what they want me to price, show them showroom. Once I price a house plan, if they're happy with that and they want to move forward, then what I do is get the excavator and construction manager to go out to their property, view their property, so we know exactly what we're quoting on site work. And then I send that over to them. And then if they decide they want to go ahead and move forward, they've got all the total costs. So I get all the paperwork ready for the bank at that time.
Okay.
And if they don't have land though, do you work with like local realtors too to kind of help find somewhere for them that would work for their home? Oh
yes, of course. So we have a couple different realtors. I have preferred lenders too that we work with. So it makes the process a lot smoother for the customers and for ourselves.
Okay.
So
that
and
makes sense.
So and working with those local lenders, does that make it an easier process to get the financing thing?
It does. Sometimes if in the past, we've had customers go to branches, that we might not be as familiar with. And sometimes it'll take closing a lot longer to get done. So with us doing the locked house prices up front, we like for everything to run smoothly as possible.
Okay. So you also work with local contractors too, like for if there's things that need to be done, like you may have to contract work out for things like that.
Yeah, we do. We have our own subcontractors. The majority of them has been with us for many of years. So they know our process. They know what we expect.
Yeah. And I think that's also important if you've been working with them for a long time. So it's someone that you obviously trust so that, someone who's coming in and working with you guys knows they're getting good like quality and work.
Of course.
So, yeah. I also, so let's say somebody's wanting to build, right? How long should they start? Like how early should they start talking to a lender or to you guys, to make that process like smoother?
Sure. So at any time they can talk to a lender if they want to go ahead and get pre-approved to kind of have an idea on their budget, price range they want to be within. I always say, roughly maybe a year or so. There's no really set time. The thing is, it does take a little bit of time at the beginning because usually a bank takes about 45 to 60 days to close. And then we have to get permits. So you're looking, our customer's looking about 3 months before we're even able to break ground. So it is a little bit of a process because you have to wait on the well septic permit. We have to have all that in order before we're able to get building permits. I roughly say once we start construction, I always tell people roughly a year. Okay. But of course, that just depends on the size home they have and, of course, the weather and stuff.
Yeah. Weather can play a big part in that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I always tell my husband because and I think I've even mentioned it on the show before, like we got married really young and we had like no money back then. So we when we went to get a home, like we ended up getting, our home is like a double wide, but it's on foundation. I mean, it's not like a horrible place, but it's just what we could afford at the time. And I love the land we have. We're here in Bedford County and it's gorgeous. Like I walk on my front porch and I have the peaks and like I don't have neighbors. And so I'm like, I keep telling him, like, I don't want to move, but I feel like I just want to get a bulldozer and just bulldoze the house.
Push it down and start over.
And start something over just because, it needs a lot of updates. And I'm like, I think it would be worth it more to just do something new versus try and fix everything that we need to do with it. So I don't know. One day, he may just come home and I'm like,
we're in the process of redoing our dining room and changing it from, like just a dining room because we never eat in there. So like we're like, let's make this into like a study thing. So we started that the first week of February. The painting's done, but we haven't put any of the furniture or anything back. Like it always takes longer than you think unless you know what you're doing, right?
Yes.
So having experts that know like, hey, this is what we need to do next. And of course it's different when you've got like a company doing it, you're trying to do it yourself because we have a very busy schedule. We get like 2.5 hours a week that we could probably work on it. So I'm exaggerating a little there, but but talking about like, because like we bought our house 4 years ago and we're just now starting to like change things to like what we want, changing paint colors and rearrange rooms, things like that, like doing construction and changing stuff. So you talked about how you have like existing plans. Are people able to customize those even and change things?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're able to customize our plans, to suit the homeowner's needs and wants. And like I said, we can also build plans that they provide us.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to say. I'd be one of those crazy people that have like
Yeah,
this
you would.
Pinterest list, and I'm like, "Can you do this? Can you do this? I want it to
Right.
look like this." And
Oh, they do.
Okay.
They break
Yeah.
those in too.
And what's the
That
best
would be
way for someone to bring a plane to you? Like, should they just draw it on a napkin or?
Oh gosh,
I
no.
think you mentioned that in your email to us.
on a napkin.
So, like, I got this idea for a house. It looks like this.
No, okay.
Stick house.
In order for us to really kind of give a ballpark and a quote, I have to really kind of know something, some more details on it.
Right.
So yeah, it really need to be something like I don't encourage people to purchase plans online, but they can print them out and bring them in. It's really scary when people do that because sometimes with the way things are now, they cost so much more than what people realize.
Right.
So they'll bring a plan in that's larger than what their budget is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's a good thing though. I can look at a plan and kind of give them a ballpark and an idea, and two, when I kind of know their price range, their budget they want to be in, I can kind of pull plans, that might suit their needs.
Yeah, if they've got like a $50,000 budget, and I know that's way under, but they have a $50,000 budget and they've got a 6,500 square foot home, that's probably not going to work out like that,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
I don't want to get their hopes up.
No.
I want to be straightforward with
and
everyone.
keep it realistic.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So how involved does the homeowner need to be with the customization process? Like, is that something that they're involved with kind of like the whole thing or?
Yeah, well, they're welcome to, call, email, be involved, as much as they want, pretty much. But we just do everything, like I said, at the very beginning. So I actually get everything in full detail at the very beginning. Even to the fact where we'll do a pre-construction meeting when they close at the bank, and we actually write down everything they've picked out for the interior and exterior finishes, and even down to location of where their heat pump units going, hose bibs. So they know everything, and they get a copy of everything as well. So we're ready to just take off and go with the subcontractors and get this thing moving.
Okay, quick question. You said hose bibs. Is that like the outdoor?
Yes, your
Okay.
outdoor hose bibs.
So I'm so used to hearing it called a spigot or a spout or
Oh,
whatever.
I
Like,
had no
I was
clue
like,
what it
I didn't
was.
know, like that sounded like an official thing. And I like the name. So anyway.
Now I'm going to go around. I'm going to go home and tell my husband, I'm like,
Yeah.
we need to fix our hose
And
bib
what were the hose bib?
because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well,
Just-
we have to include all those little minor details.
Yeah.
I
And
love
those
it.
are important because I don't know where the hose bibs are on the back of my house because I don't go around the back of my house that often.
Well, I think that though
I
is
just want to say
the
hose bibs.
attention to detail. Like little things are
Right.
things that like after the fact, you're like, oh crap, I wish I had, asked about this or found out about this or that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I try to make suggestions too with homeowners, just in case they don't remember something or don't think of something. You just never know. I've been through this before too, and there's always something you might say, oh, I wish I would have done this
Yeah.
or done that.
Yeah, I'd be the person that'd walk in and be like, okay, there's a bedroom, great. There's a bathtub, great. I wouldn't have thought about
Right.
like all the other things. I'd just be like, oh, all that's there.
Where
So-
your electrical sockets are in the room because like we're turning the dining room into like a den study kind of thing, and my wife's like, I want to put the desk here, and I'm like, there's no plug there. Like,
Don't get me started with electrical sockets.
Right.
Because right now I can't run anything in my kitchen without it blowing. Like I can't do the dishwasher and the toaster or the toaster oven and the air
you
fryer.
gotta like plan your day out.
Yes. And then the worst part is like I'll forget that the dishwasher's running and I'll just warm up my coffee or something and it blows. And then I'm stuck.
Sounds like you need to look at a customized.
And this is an everyday
House
occasion. Well, yeah, either that or I need an electrician to come fix my stuff.
This is going to be an expensive
So-
episode for you.
It really is. It's a good thing Chris doesn't listen to any of my podcasts.
It's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
It's a
'cause
good thing.
I talk about him quite a bit on here too. No, I'm just kidding.
She's not kidding. But
But
I'm going to
yeah.
text him in a minute and be like, hey,
So I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think is one of the biggest like misconceptions people have about home building? I'll put you on the spot. You're just like,
Yeah, I'm kind of.
I'll tell you, like for me, I guess for me, it scares me because I think that there's I guess I feel like there's a lot more to it, and I think people are thinking like, oh, well, I don't want to necessarily build a home because I just think it's going to be too involved. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, they are to be a homeowner because I've been on the other side too. It is scary because you don't know what to do, where to begin, what all's involved. And it's a process and there's a lot of things that are involved. But, building, if someone builds with us, I try to make it as easy as possible for them. I try to handle, pretty much everything. So they don't have to do anything really other than pick out their stuff.
Okay. That makes sense. I just would be like, I get nervous about everything. So there's that.
Yeah, facts. So I saw, so you sent us a little email telling us a little bit about you. And so like, one of the things that I saw is like you offer a 30-year dry basement warranty. Is that right?
Yeah. So the majority of our homes are already priced on a full unfinished basement. We actually insulate our basement walls instead of floor joists. So that's really good, and it's cheaper on the homeowner if they ever decide to finish a basement at a later date. But yes, with the subcontractor we use, we actually do a system called Tough and Dry.
Mhm.
So they actually
I was trying to think of that. And I couldn't. I was like, tough something.
Yeah, and they actually provide a 30-year dry basement warranty, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a lot of people, well, like I know like my parents' house, like their basement floods every time it like rains because they got issues.
Because the hills.
Well, there's that. There's also like, I think it's sinking. I don't even know what's going on.
Maybe their
there,
hose bibs are leaking.
Stop it.
I literally texted my wife the words hose bibs just so I wouldn't forget.
Just
So
That's great. So tell us, how can somebody reach out to you? Like, what is kind of that first step to get the process started?
Sure. So they can contact us, by phone. They can contact me by email. They're welcome to go on our website. But, we have a contact page there where they can email me through there. So yeah, there's numerous different ways, or they're welcome to come in. Like I said, we're located right on Timberlake Road, near the 460 Inn.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Where's the showroom at? Then go to the showroom. I've actually been there. It's very pretty. You walk in and, they had like, it's been a minute since I've been there, but they had like, windows in there that you could kind of look at, and they had some, was it roofing?
Yeah. Like I said,
there's quite a bit of stuff in there. It's bigger than it looks from the outside when you go in.
okay,
it's
I
really
might have
cool.
to go check that out.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I hope my wife isn't listening right now. I just got a text. I'm scared to open it.
Yeah, don't. She's going to be like, guess what we need to do? So, did you put like do you have your website or phone number?
Yeah, so our phone number is 434-266-1070. And of course, our website is same as the company name. So www.craftsmancustomhomebuilders.com.
Okay,
Awesome.
perfect.
So we ask every podcast guest 2 questions. One is, how long have you been part of the CVABC?
So this is actually the first time I've been a part of it. So I think we're probably almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
This year will be a year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And what do you think is the greatest benefit of being part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
Sure. So it's really good that, they offer a lot of advertising and events. So you can actually get out and mingle with people, to help with, your business and getting to know each other.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. So whenever I hit a situation and I need something, usually there's somebody in the CVABC who does it.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's multiples, right? So, because like for headshots, like I've used like 2 or 3 photography companies. So, and two of them within the same month, because at a coffee talk, I think I won free headshots with one company and then did a barter with, what is that?
I don't know.
That's a new one.
What is that?
Yeah. That
Sounds like that train's coming off the tracks. So
That sounds like a helicopter on top of a train.
It does.
Yep.
Anyway.
they're filming a Tom Cruise movie
I was
outside.
trying to decide if I was hearing something or if it was like my left ear was still messing up. Like I was just, maybe something was happening over there. But sorry about that. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, it was a weird enough noise, like not typical at all, to where
I'm
we were
used to
both
the
like,
train.
No, it
usually
did
we
sound
just
like
let
a
it go and
helicopter.
just, move through. And you can't hear it on the podcast as much as you can in the studio, but
Yep.
it was, that was different. They must be filming a Tom
Mhm.
Cruise movie. I'm gonna say that again. So,
Yeah.
so that's great. I forgot what I was saying. So being able to use, have multiple choices of different kinds of services and things. Like there's probably like 10 or 11 people that we work with every month from the CVABC, and like so one of them is our answering service, which we were using at like a national company, and I didn't even know there was a local source for that, right? And the local company is way better than the other one was, a lot cheaper too. So
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to make those connections. And
Yeah,
see
meet other people.
Yeah. And I really love the fact that I know in the last year or two, we've really seen an influx of businesses that are more like contractors and things. And that's what I see a lot of people asking about. Like when I'm scrolling through like social media, they have like the recommendations page. I'm constantly seeing like, I need a plumber, I need a roofer, I need a
Yes.
landscaper, I need this, I need that. And it's really great to be able to say, hey, I know somebody, and, I can give them that information. And our members kind of can do the same. So it's really, really awesome.
And I'd much rather deal with someone local, whether it's realty, banking, building a house, getting my car washed, like anything. I want to know that I can deal with somebody that's local.
It definitely makes the process easier.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If you're listening in and you've been thinking about building, definitely reach out to Charity at Craftsman Custom Home Builders and, see if that, they can kind of walk you through the process and see if that's something that would be a good fit for you. And if you've been kind of hemming and hawing about it, check it out. And,
and you can go see it in person and touch it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to just look at pictures online and be like, I want this.
Right.
$6 million.
Yes.
So you can go touch it in person and see how reasonably priced it is.
Yes, and thank you, Heather, so much. And yes, if anyone reaches us, they're always welcome to go out to any construction we have going on at that time if they want to get a visual on the quality of materials and stuff we use.
I like it.
Perfect. Well, we are going to break for a commercial and we will be back with our next guest.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Omega Disaster Restoration, located in Campbell County, Virginia. Omega specializes in water, fire, and smoke damage restoration, as well as mold remediation. Their region includes Central and Southwest Virginia, which spans a vast service area from Blacksburg to Charlottesville and Stanton to Danville.
In addition to disaster restoration and full service reconstruction and remodeling, Omega is proud to offer custom all-wood cabinets through their Hanover Woodworking Studio, custom countertops via their Top Solution Studio, and dumpster services through Old Dominion Dumpsters, all part of the Omega family of brands. A beautiful showroom is currently under construction at their Exchange Drive location and will be soon open to the public, showcasing their diverse offering.
Customers can call 434-616-4659 for emergency assistance with water, fire, smoke damage, or mold remediation needs. Omega provides 24/7 emergency response, ensuring that help is always available. Locally owned and not a franchise, Omega is your first and last call in any emergency, restoring your home or business from beginning to end. For more information about Omega Disaster Restoration and their comprehensive services, please visit omegadisasterrestoration.com/VA/Lynchburg.
Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Linghorn Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
We are here with our next guest. Is that do you just have one thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of Hona.
Okay, sorry guys. I'm here. I'm all sorts of discombobulated today because I have I'm gonna say it again. I have the sinus stuff going on.
And short arms.
And I'm short.
And a big tip.
Oh my God, that's so funny you say that though, because I was laughing because this is so off topic. But my daughter had a birthday party this week and the kids were making fun of her. They gave her a little dinosaur bag because they said she's tall with short arms.
She's like a T-Rex.
Yes, they were making fun of her little arms because she's anyway. That's completely off topic, but you're talking about my short little arms. So anyway, all right. Well, back to an actual topic and guest and all the things. We are staying on our focus on kind of home and not garden, but just the home.
The house.
The house. And we have Angela. I know I'm going to say it right. I'm wrong. I'm going to pronounce your name all wrong. I'm going to botch it all up.
We have Angela. I'm going to let you say the last name.
Canizaro? Did I say it right?
Close. It's Canizaro.
Canizaro.
That's what I was going to say.
Good. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Canizaro.
And she is with Blue Ridge Town and Country Real Estate Team. And so welcome.
Thank you.
I'm excited to have Angela here. So Angela and I do some networking stuff together, and she's going to be on Tea Time too. So be on the lookout for that next month because we're going to be filming that tomorrow. So I'm excited to have her coming on Tea Time too.
I have to come back tomorrow.
Yes. And hey, just so you know, we're going to have donuts.
I have to pick up donuts?
Mike, I'm gonna need to reel you in here.
We're gonna have special donuts. It's gonna be a great episode.
It's gonna be awesome. But anyway, I'm really excited to have her on the show, because just working with her, even through networking, I know a lot about like what she does, and I'm really excited to like let more people hear about her and her team. So kind of just to start us off, if someone is looking to buy or sell a home, why work with an agent?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think a lot of people ask that because agency fees are not cheap. So why should you use an agent? And I think one of the biggest things is this is probably one of the largest sums of money that you're going to be handling. Some yours and a huge chunk the banks. And there's being able to analyze the properties, their values, being able to understand what you're purchasing, knowing you can really afford those bills. Buying a property of quality that's not going to have a major issue later. But also mainly it's a huge legal process of getting there. And so
it has to be done right.
Yeah, there's
this
so
isn't something
many.
You kind of wing it.
Yes. And Virginia's a buyer beware state. So
Yes.
if you don't know the right questions to ask, you don't ask them, they don't have to tell you, and you end up buying a mess. And so I think just having someone walk you through every level of that process is really important. I think that when people buy, it's usually between 3 to 5 times the amount of their household annual income. So that's a lot of money to be spending on something. Maybe you do that a couple times in your lifetime.
Right.
And to go through that process without anybody guiding you through that can be really scary.
I actually had friends that found that out the hard way, the whole buyer beware state. They moved here from Colorado, and and they got a house, and it is a lot of work, but like the realtor sold it to them. They never even came and actually looked at the house. Like he sent them pictures and like, and back to me walking around going, oh, here's a bedroom and stuff. Like I actually met the realtor at the house and like FaceTimed them as we were walking through, but that's really, and then they bought, and there was a lot of things that had we done our due diligence, like looked into it more, probably,
Right. And that's why home inspections are so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, because the guy that did our home inspection, like so I'm walking through with him, just like, do you mind if I follow you around? Like, I'm just kind of curious to see what you check for, right? Not being like, what are you doing? But like, just to see. And some of the things he made sure the microwave worked, right? Like all the way down to that, he had this little collapsible cup and like filled it with water, stuck it in there, make sure the water got hot. I'm like, okay, that's extreme, because that microwave's coming out the second we own this house, because it was like mounted above the stove, and I hate that. I'm short, so like pulling hot things out from above my head does not work. But anyway, but I was impressed with all the things that they check, and like things that you would never think of. So plus the radon testing, all that stuff. So, but anyway, not to get off topic. Sorry. I mean, I'm on topic, but I'm rambling a little. It's fine. So you talked about how it's kind of like a legal process, and just like with the previous guest, I talked about like the first time that I went to go get a building permit to work on our house. Like that was a hot mess, just trying to figure out where to go. And then we didn't fill the form out right because we had no idea, right? I'm not a contractor. It was just things that needed. Hello, train. They're especially loud today. They must have the volume turned up on those or something.
I don't know. I feel like we've had more trains come through today than we've had in like a couple of weeks.
We have. The economy's booming, apparently. But like talking about how it's a legal process and making sure that you've got everything done, like having that expertise that you've got, like being able to like kind of know what the next step is, and you're not doing this, well, I need to do this. Well, you can't do that until you have this, right? And you've got to have like the I forget what it's called, but they have to like verify that the title is accurate or whatever.
Yeah, title search. I actually do that. I used to work for a law firm and an insurance company and did title work. That's my earliest real estate work back in my early 20s.
So you started kind of like behind the scenes and then moved into the spotlight, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I think it's great because you inform your buyers, and you were talking about just having well-informed buyers so they know what they're walking into, prior to just putting in an offer or whatever. Yeah.
So for 20 some years, I've been a real estate investor, meaning I've bought many properties and sold many properties. And so, in the process of seeing real estate as a financial investment, and that's where pretty much all of the money I've made has been, the large sums have all been in real estate. So, going into that and, knowing, you have to know what you're buying, and knowing that you're not going to get stuck with something,
Right.
and understanding where the market's going, understanding economic development. That's one of the great things about being part of all the chambers and networks and groups like CVABC, is that you're out there with your ears to the ground. You know what's happening, what's coming, what's developing. So what is going to be a long-term good investment, and but also because the investment background, that's part of what I do, is the investment coaching, not just for people here that are my clients, but even out of state. I can do the coaching side or consulting side, where I'm working with you through the home buying process, whether it's your first home, your investment home, second, third, vacation home. Because I've been the buyer so often, like I can help walk you through that process to analyze, ask all the right questions. And a lot of times I do that really working off referrals. So it ends up really not costing the buyer anything.
Like that.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that, I love when I listen to Angela talk. The Lynchburg area has like a bajillion realtors, right? I feel like when you see, I was talking about social media stuff earlier, and people say, can somebody give me a realtor's name? There's like 500 people post on there, like all these different
Right. And there's a lot of realtors on TikTok, because I see realtors from all over the country, showing a house. I'm like, I'm just going to use Colorado because you said that earlier. Like, I'm not moving to Colorado. Like, why do I need to see TikTok? What are you doing? But,
But one of the things I know about Angela is that she's been in this a long time. And when she says she started with the investment, investing and stuff like that, she knows her stuff. When I listen to her talk, it's not just somebody like, oh, I just got my realtor's license the other day because I needed a side gig.
I thought this would be a great career change or something.
And I'm not saying, I know there's people that do that.
Sure.
That's just that's their second job, or they just have something extra. But Angela knows she knows her stuff.
Well, she not only has the real estate side, as a real estate agent, but also the investor side, because that's completely different. It's a completely different ballgame.
100%.
And you know what to look for, and what is a good purchase and what isn't. Not everything can be seen from that. Obviously, not saying you're super, you get everything 100% right, but you know what to look for, because you said in your notes here, you've made the mistakes in the past, so you know what to avoid in the future. And that's the biggest thing for me is if I was to open Visiting Angels today, I would do everything way differently than we did when we first opened, right? Because I learned, and having that experience and expertise is invaluable.
Yeah.
So
that's all I got to say about that. I'm just throwing that pitch out there.
So I like you have here the walking on ice metaphor. So tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So, a lot of people like to feel the sense of security, especially when you're investing money. You want to know that you're putting in a place that's going to be safe. But in reality, nobody's walking on rock. You're walking on ice, and it's really how thick, how thin is it, and what's the coming weather, and are you safe on that, on that place. So I think that's something I think about a lot, and I share with people when they're looking at buying a house or even just doing life. There's no such thing as no risk in security. It's how risky are you comfortable with? And part of that's, even in the customizing, what's a good deal for one person is not necessarily a good deal for another person.
Right.
Because, some people would I'll live in a house with 5 other people, or I'll live in a duplex or a triplex. I don't care. I live in apartments anyways. That's a great investment for you, because then you've got other people helping pay your mortgage. But if you're no, I want isolation. I want a nice, I want
Heather,
security.
I want no neighbors.
When no neighbors, then that's not going to work for you. And so how do you still buy a really good financial investment for you that's going to work for your lifestyle, your preferences, your family, and still be a good investment that you can build upon and build equity in. And I'm really passionate about that, because I feel I don't know if you ever played a game and you're get really good at the game, and then someone's playing the game and you're let me just tell you how to do it. No, this is where you want to move. You keep wanting to talk over their shoulder because you know what they should do. So that's kind of how I feel about real estate. And so if I feel there's something that I would do, it would be a really good idea, a really good investment, a really good opportunity, I'm dying to share that with my clients. And that's one of the reasons I have Tony here with me, that he's one of I've got a handful of lenders that I really love working with for lots of different reasons, but this is grant season, and being able to help, people get their first home with a big giant grant to help them walk in the door. That's part of the heart behind, bringing in your knowledge and information and what you would do, what you could do. That's what my son is in the process of getting getting a grant and buying a house with Tony. And then I've got, Mason, who's here with us today too. He did that too. And so, part of that, both the knowledge and the knowing people, knowing what's going on, but that you're like, my clients are like my children. Like, I want to take care of you. I want to get you every good deal. I want to warn you about every possibility. Back to the thin ice. I'm going to really caution you if I think you're going to be getting into something, you think you're going to love, but I'm going to caution you, even if it means we're going to look for houses for another 6 months.
Right.
But I don't want you to get into something you're going to love.
Right. My wife and I looked at 24 houses before our house.
Yeah.
And so something I think is really funny about real estate. We looked at 24 houses. We walked through some of these houses for like 3 hours at an open house, like looking at every single thing. We walked into the house that we ended up buying, and we made it 3 steps in the door, and she just looked at me and she goes, I think this is our house. I'm like, maybe we should see the rest of the house. Walk into the foyer, took a left, walked into the bedroom, and I just looked at her and I'm like, I think this is our house. She goes, maybe we should look at the rest of the house first. And that's the one we ended up buying. But like 5 steps in, 10 steps in, we both knew like, this is it. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny to me that you just get that feeling and right. And then you go through and look at everything and see if there's any problems that are like deal breakers or something that can't be fixed or you can't live with, things like that. Yeah. And I think it's like that feeling of, and our realtor worked really close with us and was like, we looked at 24 houses because she told us, she goes, I'm not going to go with you to every open house, but like go look. If there's a house you want to see, tell me what you like about it, like from Zillow and all that. And and she gave us like, this is what you've told me you're looking for. This house does not fit what you're looking for at all. Right. And that was hard for us to hear. Right. But to be able to, like, she told us, like, you want to, the way that you guys are, you want to entertain and things like that. You want to have a public space, right? Because you want to have people where people can come and then you can just hang out. Our house has that. Right. And so I think for my mom's 70th birthday, I think we fit like 40 people in our house. Our house should not hold 40 people, but the way it was laid out, it worked out because we had people in the dining room and we have a little sunroom and like they were able to spread out and we had enough public space to where like they weren't sitting on our bed in our bedroom talking to each other, so it was really important to do that. But like, because our realtor guided us on what we were really looking for when we walked in the house, we knew it. Yeah. Right. Y'all couldn't hear the snap. So.
Well, I think it's like you said, it's buying a home or investment property is probably the biggest purchase you're ever going to make. It's the most money. It's the most, debt you're going to go, you're sitting there thinking about this and it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. And I love the fact that you do like a personalized investment analysis and you can go in with somebody and show them like, here's why this is a good fit. And then this is maybe why it's not a good fit. And, not just trying to make a sell, you actually walk them through all the reasons that it is good or it isn't. And so tell us a little bit more about that.
I think that goes in 2 directions. One is preferences, like you talked about, like these are the things we really want because this is the lifestyle we want to live. Holding on to that heart and that vision of how you want to do life is one thing. It's funny because a lot of people come in with that list of this is what I want in a house. And the house they end up buying, it morphs into something completely different by the time they purchase a home. Because they're learning. They walk through and they say, you know what, as a matter of fact, I don't really need that, but I really love this. And so it changes. But being able to kind of hold the line of what matters to you really, what really are those core things. And then, what are these other things that you're bringing into the picture as you start to see other houses. But besides like the home inspection aspect, which it really helps that my fiance is the home inspector. Right. I'm always looking at it like that. But besides the quality of the build and its ability to sustain and you understanding how much it's going to take for you to maintain it, is also just the long-term value investment aspect of it. Is it going to suit your current lifestyle? Is it going to, a quick example, really sweet friend, ended up purchasing a home while I was on vacation. And so came back, guess what? I bought a house, which was great. Came back. And the problem is because it was just not somebody who really knew them, not somebody who would ask the right questions. They ended up buying a house that's probably small. They outgrew in a year.
Right.
They're ready to move. They didn't really tell them the things about how you can build value, how you can hurt value. There's things that you can do to your house that will actually make it less valuable. And so, some of the things that were done in the process, now you turn around and now you have to sell too soon. So it would have been probably better to rent because you can't get that profit margin. Right. And then the things that transitions that were made, it was going to be really hard to get your money back. And so that's one of the things I don't want to happen. So it's like, well, how can you buy a place that what you do to it is actually building money? An unfinished basement you can finish off is going to build a chunk of equity
Right.
that isn't just waiting on time to build. So some of that stuff in, knowing your heart or lifestyle you want to live when you go into it. What are the opportunities to build equity within the home itself? How can you maybe get cash flow out of it? I mean, all of those things, again, that's why it's good to coach. Like I have a couple of clients in Dallas that are looking at properties and, going through that process of like, what really matters to you, what really, really matters to you. And how do you, look at the difference between the numbers. I love numbers. So I've, spreadsheets like mad all over the computer. Because I'm like, it all sounds so good until you run the numbers and then, or it sounds okay. And then you run the numbers and you're like, okay, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Because once you start to really see what you can get out of it. So anyways, I guess, I don't know if I answered your question, but.
Yeah. I mean, all I'm going to do is walk in there and say, can I use the toaster and the dishwasher at the same time? Sold.
Right. And
No,
see,
no,
when
no.
we bought our house, so
Just say
so I love a nice staircase when you walk in. However, I work in senior care, so I see people get trapped in half their house all the time, right? So the kitchen and the bathroom are on one level, and there's like 2 steps up, and then there's the bedroom. Well, if they can't navigate those steps, they have to decide, do they want access to food in the bathroom or to their comfortable bed, right? So when we bought our house, I wanted one with a staircase, but I also wanted that could do main level living, right? Yeah. We found the house, right? So it's laundry's all on one level, kitchen, it's less than 2 steps into either the garage or the house. Like I had all these tight parameters because this is a big investment. It was a scary investment for us, right? So just because it was like, this should be our forever home. So I didn't want to buy a house that when it comes retirement age, I have to move after having all those memories in the house. And so that was what was important to me. So when we found this house, it was like, I think this is it, right? So, and that was a great fit for us. Another one, what is up today? So the train is really distracting us today. Usually we don't even notice.
No.
So it is really important to make sure that 1, you can get the value out, and 2, that it is what you're looking for, and that you don't buy too quickly, right? And jump too earnestly. And then I want to make a joke about earnest, not money now, but anyway, but you don't jump too earnestly and then like end up with a house that like you're kind of stuck in, but doesn't fit your needs.
Yeah.
So.
And I would really like you have just a minute to introduce Tony, who's here with us.
Absolutely. I was getting ready to say, let's.
You go ahead.
I think this is the quietest I've seen Tony be.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Goodman. I'm with Atlantic Union Bank Home Loans. I'm here supporting Angela. I'm a lender here locally. We are licensed in 39 states, though, so we cover quite the large area of the country. But like what Angela mentioned, there are some great grants out right now, being grant season, that's really helping buyers. One of the big things is with home prices consistently going up every year, and this year it only went up 1%. But when we're already at a national average of over 400,000, down payment and closing costs is a serious issue for a lot of people. Yeah. So what these grants do, there's a workforce grant that's for first-time and repeat buyers. It's up to $15,000. Depending on your price point, you might not have any closing costs at all. Move in, keys in your hand, and nothing out of pocket at closing. There's a first-time buyer grant that's up to $17,500. And then there's a community partners grant that's up to $20,000. So it's really helping people actually afford buying the home.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that existed. That's fantastic.
I didn't either. Well, I mean, I started learning once.
I was gonna say I heard when she talked about that at a networking event, but like I kind of forgot about it. Like,
And what's really great is those are national grants. So again, if I'm coaching clients out of state and they're licensed in 36 states, then Tony can help me getting grants for people all over the country. And I have one of my clients in Dallas, a couple of them have applied for some of the grants. And so it's really helpful getting that initial in the door. And how do you bridge that gap between renting, where you're constantly paying this money out every month, and now you don't have the money to save, and so you're 30, 35 years old before you can buy your first house. And I'm on the other end of that, where I'm pushing my kids. I'm like, okay, you're 18, you've got 2 years, you got to build your credit, you got to save your money. No, seriously. I'm like, I would tell my daughter too, I was like, if you expect to stay home after you graduate from high school, you're either paying me rent so I can save it for you, or you're saving your money like your brother, and you're going to buy your first duplex.
Right.
And then your renters are going to pay your rent, your mortgage. So but that's really important to me because I feel like it's such a good way that you're just doing life. My nephew bought a house up at the lake maybe about 8 years ago. And he's like, I just came home and paid my mortgage. Like I'd pay rent. And 8 years later, my house is worth $100,000 more. He goes, I couldn't have saved $100,000 just coming home and paying my rent, fixing a thing here or there. So you're building money for your future, building some sense of it's such a great wealth builder. And it's not taking much more than you would have just renting a place. So and making that gap between 20 years old, 30 years old, if you can get in your early 20s,
right,
you're 10 years ahead of the game. And so that's just a really big deal to me. So helping, I mean, I'm like, if your kids are in high school, send them to me. I'll start talking to them.
right.
Yeah.
Because they have to, if they come to me 2 years later and say, look, I saved up some money, I'm ready to buy. It's like, great. Well, you didn't have a credit card. So wait, now you got to wait another year or two. So if you come ahead of time and give me a call, I can help out saying, this is what you need to do to get yourself ready. You're either 30 days to 2 years away from buying your first house. Call me and I'll get you on the right path to getting there so that you can make that big, it's a huge benefit to your future financially.
Yeah. And if let's say everybody gets a 30-year mortgage, if you get one at 20 or you get one at 50, that's a big difference in the age when it's paid off, right?
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I don't want to think about how long my mortgage has left.
I think that's a big thing with Angela as well, is she's not looking to just place people in a home.
Right.
She's long-term thinking about your financial future,
right?
Thinking, is there an investment that we can make out of this? Just really taking care of the buyers.
Mm-hmm.
It's big.
You have to live somewhere anyway. You might as well build equity and wealth so that you're better set for the future.
Exactly.
Because, if you're, renting an apartment and then if you get a grant, you're able to pay the same for a house that you would for a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Why would?
Right.
Yep. So I'm asking for a friend.
Is the friend you?
It is me. So do you also are there, you're speaking about paying rent. Are there grants and funding available for commercial or to help like move you from paying
for like small businesses?
For small businesses to help you move into a brick and mortar, like a purchase the space versus...
I'm going to pass the football to Tony.
So I am strictly in
Tony?
residential mortgage, but
Okay.
I will say in the commercial side of things, there are some local community partners that do help with setting businesses up, whether it's it's hard since I'm not in commercial, but there are local places that help you get set up business wise.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm just, I know we've chatted a little bit with the CVAC stuff, and I've actually chatted with Angela about that as well, because I know she does investment properties. So
they do know there's a business, like I think Campbell County offers like once or twice a year, like $5,000 to a new business, and your first year of business. So if that goes towards you, buying a piece of real estate or going into your, going into, whatever you need to do with it. So there's different grants that I think that are helping small businesses that can be leveraged towards the purchase of real estate. And those I'm happy to help dig up for you.
Well, and not even just talking about us, but that is one of the big things I get from a lot of our members, because, a lot of our members don't have brick and mortar stores, or, they're just starting up and they're entrepreneurs and their goal is to open.
And so
something.
with the small business, what's the thing called where the CVABC was when I first joined?
What? The Business Development Center?
Business Development Center closing. Like you had like 7 people reach out to you and be like, I need new office space.
Yeah.
And I can't afford like the rent that I'm finding.
Right.
Right. So,
yeah, I just always wonder if it's better, like you were saying, instead of putting the money into renting, you're building equity by purchasing something and putting it into your own space, which I would think would be the better option.
Right. And if you can afford to do that, if you can afford to get in the door, or even seeing how, well, if I get this building and I only need one office, but it has 4 other office spaces in here, and I can use renting those out to leverage. I'm only paying the same thing, only my equity's, building within the property. So, and part of that is, I wouldn't know in general off the top of my head what's available on a spur of a moment, but as far as getting into researching that, if someone came to me with a specific and said, here's my budget, here's what I'd like to do, how do I do this and it not cost me all this money? Being able to walk through where they're at and how we get there, and how to analyze the property to say, how can you leverage different aspects of this property to make money off of it so that it makes sense for you?
Right.
So that, or it doesn't just make sense to rent. In some of those situations, it just does. I don't like to rent a lot, but I have rented day offices, and it has been really convenient for me. But because it's temporary, it doesn't have to be long term. But then for some people, it might make sense to buy the building and not be paying all of that rent.
Right. It's the same kind of mindset, like you're building wealth. Like, so if you own a small business or something like that, like you want to build wealth in the business as well, because I think everybody's like, nobody is going to start a business and then run it until the day they drop. Right. They're going to, usually there's a plan to kind of sell that business. And so you might as well make the business worth more by investing in, or one of the companies I worked at, the founder of the company owned the building and the space and then owned the business, and it was an ESOP. So like he got bought out over time and all that stuff, but then he still owned the building and still collected rent. Right. So like he made it where his income was for the lifetime. Right. So, and then, you know, when he passed away, like his I almost said descendants, beneficiaries still had that income, or they could choose to sell the building and they had an asset that they could sell to invest somewhere else. So yeah, it's the same kind of mindset, I think, of, you know, don't just have somewhere to run your business, but invest in the future and things like that. The same with buying a home. And it's interesting to hear about the grants and things like that, because I had forgotten that little nugget. So
the one thing about the grants, though, they are released about 3 to 4 times a year, and they don't last long.
I bet
everybody's looking for free money, so it goes very quick. But again, the money gets reallotted and it goes out different times. So we generally know maybe around 2 weeks prior to release date, so we can kind of get people lined up and ready for when they are released and reserve those funds.
Yeah. So one thing. So that's one thing where I say, if you're even thinking in the next year to buy, to kind of get the process started, if you can contact me, then we can get rolling, and like you can see what your pre-approval is at where you're at right now. Then you can know, okay, it looks like I could qualify for a grant if they get released again. So let's start looking for homes in this area. Then by the time you're ready to buy or the grants come out, you know exactly what you want, because you've been through the process of seeing 26 homes and you know what you want. So
yeah, finally.
So it's good to do that prep work. And I know our time is a little bit short, but I'd love to introduce my son Mason really quick, because
absolutely
one of the things is we're building with the Blue Ridge Town and Country team. We just launched in January, and there's 3 of us. Maureen, who's one of our partners, isn't here today. She's out of town, but she is a 15-year broker in New York who just moved here, got her license a few years ago, and she's on our team. So she brings all of that background in real estate work from a broker perspective. Mason got his license very recently, but he is one of those I shoved out the door and said, buy your duplex, get going. And so he can tell you quickly his financial situation with owning real estate right now. But he brings to the team a really amazing background in AI and leveraging technology to be able to do deep analyzation of properties, market analysis, and just making a lot of the busy work extremely quick and accurate. And so that helps us really price houses well. And then my background in investments. So, and we work as a team. I haven't been on another real estate team, so I don't know how they work, but I know our team works truly as a team. Like if there's something that one of our clients needs, we're all working to make sure that client's getting the best of everything we have to offer as a team. So, but go ahead, Mason. I wanted to let you share a little bit about your purchase and working on the team.
Yeah, so I immediately out of high school, I jumped right into the Army and was there for about 4 years and decided it was not for me. Got out and immediately was like, I'm not sure what I want to do. I know I don't want to rent. And you helped me really kind of find the best investment opportunity and get in it quick. And Tony was able to help me get I think it was just over $20,000 worth of grants to get in there. Zero money out of pocket. Immediately, with I think less than a month, I had renters in there paying $1,300 in rent, and my taxes, mortgage, insurance was all $1,314. So I was able to basically $14 a month plus utilities, was able to live and start building equity in a home immediately.
Yeah, see, I think that's amazing. When y'all told me that story, I was like, what?
I got chill bumps, and not just because it's cold in here.
That's really cool.
So.
And I love the fact that you're teaching him, that young. I think that's important because I think a lot of days now kids don't really know how to manage money or what to do. I mean,
and they don't really.
I'm however old I am, and I don't know how to manage money, so whatever. But that's why I think it's important, because I don't think we were taught. Back then. And
it's very different now, because back in the day you had a house phone, and you didn't have everybody in the house didn't have a cell phone. You didn't have all these different streaming services. Like you didn't have all the things that we consider essential now. They didn't exist back then. So it makes it a lot more important to be financially literate and know the steps. And I think that's where you've kind of gotten a cheat code, Mason, is because your mom having invested before and was like, look, you can do this and here's how, and kind of showed you the way. And you've been successful in being able to do that and have somewhere to live, and it costs you $14 a month. Like, want to trade?
No, absolutely. No, that was an awesome, it was honestly a blessing. I could not have done it on my own. Like, that was not my doing. That was just straight up a blessing. One thing I did want to kind of push more on is the Blue Ridge Town and Country team. After I did all that, I got my real estate license and joined my mom's team that we're building. And our team it really is an amazing team. And I'm learning as I go, but learning the value of working as a team. Every agent has strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
And some agents come with amazing experience and knowledge. And one of the things I know I can bring to the table is the introduction to technology and really utilizing it to get the information so that the people that have the wisdom and experience can tell you what to do with that information.
Right.
So that's one of the things that working with an agent that is a part of a team really has major benefits, I think I'm seeing already for our clients.
Yeah. And it's great because like you can collect the data and like you may look at the data and be like, well, I'm not really sure what I got here, but like here it is. And then she's got the experience to come in and be like, oh yeah, this is great. Like this is going to really work out. And so that teamwork, like, you know, they always say that you should hire where you're weak, right? So being able to have a evenly matched team where, you know, you've got some that are strong here and some that are strong here and you know, the crossover and just working as a team is essential because in my office, if you don't work together, you don't work. So, you know, it's essential to be able to do that. And it's great that you keep able to work with your mom as well. I also work with my mom and we know that for like 10 years.
I do not work with my mom.
And it's great. Like it has its challenges, right? But it's I wouldn't trade it for anything because it's fantastic to be able to have that. And like, we know we can trust each other. We know how to talk to each other. We know how to communicate. And she has over the last 10 years given me a lot of freedom to do what I want as the boss instead of her son. So she always jokes 9 to 5, I'm the boss and all the rest of the time she is. So it works out.
Yeah. I joke that I don't work with my mom, but it is funny that both of my older kids now do in some way, shape or form not really work with me, but like, you know, well, my daughter works with me and with the events, but you know, my son just joined as a member doing stuff. So he's starting to come and seeing the benefits of like the networking and being a part of things. And
it's really funny to watch his face when he introduces himself and he's like, my name's Hunter Alto. And then everybody goes, what? Like, is that Heather's son? So,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Every time.
That's kind of wearing off though as more people get to know him. So.
Yeah. But I think that's great. And like I said, when I heard about like, you know, what you were able to do and the investment you were able to make, I was blown away because I guess for me, I didn't even realize that was like, you know, an option.
Right.
And I love the fact that you can go in there and you do that investment education and you can go in there and talk to people and train them on how to do that. I just think that's really great. So
awesome.
People should really look into that.
Yeah, I think so. So if somebody wanted to learn more about that, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Probably to call, text, email. It's 434-363-6677. They can call or you can email Angela Joy. I know it's hard to say my last name, so I go by my middle name. So it's Angela Joy at BRTC LLC. And we also have the website, brtcllc.com.
It's brtcllc.com.
Yes.
Okay.
It's Blue Ridge Town and Country. So BRTC LLC. And we're out of the Cornerstone Realty office. That's our brokerage. So we have a couple office spaces in there. So if you need to come find us, we're out in Cornerstone.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very cool.
So I ask every podcast guest 2 questions. So the first one is, how long have you been part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
I think 2 years or a little slightly over 2 years. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
And she's also a sponsor this year.
Hey.
So that's cool. Yep.
Love our sponsors.
Yep.
And what do you think is the greatest benefit of being part of the CVABC?
Oh, there's so many. I tell everybody about it. It's the best thing. It's the best thing for small businesses because a lot of the other organizations are really focused on larger economic development issues where CVABC is really about helping the small business. And from the networking is my favorite. The marketing's amazing to be able to have billboard space and all of the different avenues of marketing have been awesome. But for me, really getting out there in front of people and getting to meet them, there's so many events on my calendar. I can't possibly make all of them.
Me neither.
So it's amazing to have that many opportunities to be able to go network with people and you know and the events. I'm really looking forward to the home show and a lot of the events coming up.
Yeah, it's it's funny because I get a lot of people, mainly my staff too, like when they come up to me and say, "Hey, I want to run an idea by you," or I have someone that's like, "Hey, I want to do a new event," and I just like,
I'm
yes,
just putting my
this is
head
what
down
we
on
get.
the
This is what I get. But like for me, I'm always trying to find the opportunity to help a business in some way, shape, or form. So, if there's an event that I feel like, because our members are very vast. Like we have so many different businesses at so many different things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you see, it's not a one size fits all sort of thing. Like I can't just like, oh, we have a home show. Well, that's not going to help, my crafter, or
Right.
like the businesses that do like health care.
Right.
Like you want to do something that helps kind of everyone. So I'm always trying to think of something like we potentially are getting ready to take over something in Alta Vista, which, I think is going to be really exciting.
That I actually thought was a good idea. I did not.
Yes,
I did not put my head down on the desk for that.
Surprisingly, my staff didn't
Murder you?
they didn't give me much pushback either. But, and then I know last night, like we had, Bedford Town Council, redid our funding for this year.
Oh, good.
And they were like, well, hopefully, maybe she'll do some new events. And I'm like, guys, okay. But we're also trying to help. Like, we've had Appomattox come to us about potentially doing their Christmas parade. I've got the 250th. I'm working with the Bedford, the town of Bedford on the 250th.
America's birthday.
America's birthday. Like they're doing a big parade here. And so, if I can help out in some way, shape, or form, I'm going to do it. And, yes, it's a lot of work, but I also don't want my members to be like, well, I joined, but if you come to me and say that there's nothing to do, I'm going to look at you and be like, no, that is not correct. Like whether you're doing them or not is the story, but there's always something for you to do.
Correct.
If you saw Mason's calendar, because I want him to handle our marketing, and he's like, Mom, what is all of this? I'm like, well, these are all the opportunities that we have.
Right.
A lot of them with CVABC, and it's like, all we have to do is send that email, send over, just design the billboard. We just have to send it in. Like, there's so many things we can't possibly take advantage of, all of the benefits. Like, it's just impossible. So I think like, you don't have to worry about offering more. I think it's just the people who are out there who are members or looking to be members. There's so much. There's so much available.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. All of you. Mason, Tony, everybody. Thank y'all so much for being here.
We had a crowd today.
We did have a crowd. Walked in. I was like, whoa.
We almost had as many people as we did trains.
Yeah, that's right. But I think it really made for a good show. I think we have had a lot of good information today. Yeah. So whether you're looking to build, buy, invest, you should have learned something today from this show. And we hope that you will reach out to Angela and her team at, Blue Ridge Town and Country, or Charity and her team, and, find out more about what your options are and what's going to be a good fit for you. And make a smart choice, make a smart investment versus just kind of throwing it out there and seeing what sticks, sort of deal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That is this episode of Talk Local to Me. If you have or want more information about any of the events we talked about today, or want to find out more about our guest, you can do that at
cvabc.org. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you.